Neurotransmission is a process in which one neuron communicates with another using neurotransmitters, chemical signals that move across the synapse. Each neuron has a resting potential of a negative 65 millivolts. When more sodium enters the neuron through the sodium ion channel, it becomes more positive and reaches a firing threshold of a negative 60 millivolts. Once the firing threshold is reached, an action potential is fired. It travels down the axon by jumping from myelin node to myelin node. This is called saltatory conduction. This is a picture showing the presynaptic neuron, showing sodium entering the neuron and making it more positive. Then it shows the action potential being released and traveling down the axon through saltatory conduction and into the synapse. Once in the synapse, three things can happen. Reuptake, in which the neurotransmitter is taken back into the axon terminal, enzymatic degradation when chemicals destroy the neurotransmitter, or receptor binding, when the neurotransmitter binds to the dendrite of the postsynaptic neuron. This picture shows all of normal neurotransmission, starting with the presynaptic neuron, following the action potential down the axon and into the synapse, where it interacts with the postsynaptic neuron. Rasmussen syndrome is also called Rasmussen's encephalitis. It is a rare disorder of the central nervous system that is characterized by chronic inflammation of one hemisphere of the brain. This inflammation is called encephalitis. It most often occurs in children under 10 years of age. Two theories of causation are that the brain inflammation is caused by a reaction to a foreign antigen. Another is that it is an autoimmune disease that is limited to one side of the brain. Common symptoms are seizures, weakness of one side of the body, language problems when it affects the left side of the brain, and also intellectual disabilities. The best treatment is surgery. The surgery most often given is hemispherectomy. This removes the affected side of the brain. This is what an MRI would look like after someone has had this procedure done. Rasmussen's encephalitis, complementary role of multi-technique neuroimaging, was a case study done in March of 1998 on two males ages 5 and 6. It used brain imaging to study affected brains, and it found an increase in glutamate levels. Glutamate is acknowledged to be one of the most important transmitters for normal brain function. Nearly all excitatory neurons in the central nervous system are glutamatergic. It is estimated that nearly half of all brain synapses release this agent. Elevated levels are toxic to neurons. These case studies show rise in glutamate levels in the patients affected with Rasmussen syndrome. When abnormal antibodies in the patients bind to the glutamate receptors, they become active. This increased activity causes seizures in the people affected by Rasmussen syndrome. Looking back at the picture of normal neurotransmission, it is easy to see that an excess of this excitatory neurotransmitter would interfere with this and cause excess firing of action potentials and lead to the seizures in the people affected by Rasmussen syndrome.